college football, right? You love college football, right? Then like the video. Comment on Purdue, Northwestern, the Big Ten, the nation down below. Of course, subscribe here to MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Hit that bell for the notifications to know when we go live. Help us build the channel because we do nothing but college football. Best discussion, debate, and analysis right here. I have told you guys many times that I'm not the typical college football analyst because I was never the typical college football fan. My favorite game of the day, even in a depleted schedule, hardly anybody out there would say what I said. My game of the day, Northwestern and Purdue. Loved every minute of it. Wildcats win it 27-20. They are 4-0 for the first time since 1996. If you recall, they had an All-American linebacker in 1996 by the name of Pat Fitzgerald. And they went back-to-back to the Rose Bowl and the Citrus Bowl and finished with their two best seasons in forever. Then they beat Purdue. This is key matchup in the Big Ten Western Division. So Northwestern now, Wisconsin's in their sight. Let's get back to this one, though, before we look ahead to the Badgers. Northwestern won it the Northwestern way, the Pat Fitz way. In this one, they slugged it out. They won a one-possession game. Northwestern has won more one-possession games than any team in the nation, one behind Navy since 2006. Of course, the Wildcats had a down cycle. They can't be dominant. They can't be great pretty much at any time, but competitive, contending pretty much all the time. But they have those down cycles because they don't recruit at that level. So they had one of those in 2019 when the Hunter Johnson experiment at quarterback and the offense was deplorable. I mean, deplorable, like painful to watch, bottom 5 in the nation. Well, they went out and got Peyton Ramsey, transfer quarterback from Indiana, and all is well. He has not been the complete upgrade, but he is should be credited for a lot of this. Hit on 23 of 36 passes for 212, 3 touchdowns and a pick in this one because the running game gave him nothing. So Peyton Ramsey's a guy that just makes the right decisions. He's a gamer. He's a baller. He's mobile. He's not explosive, but he's mobile, and he's got a lot of experience at this point. Northwestern's running attack relies typically on a 1-2 punch behind Isaiah Bowser and also Drake Anderson. Bowser's the muscle guy, the guy that leans the pile, brings it forward, drags tacklers, just the gritty guy that gets the uniform dirty each and every game. Drake Anderson's not super explosive, one of the best backs in the nation, but he brings some quickness to the position. They've been a great 1-2 punch for the first 3 wins, not in this one. They were both shut down. Northwestern only gained 80 yards rushing on 40 carries, so it was all on Ramsey's shoulders, and he delivered, and of course, the defense delivered. But before we get to the defense, Ramad Chakeo, I hope I pronounced that middle hyphenated last name correctly. Chakeo, that's what it looks like. Correct me down below if I'm incorrect. Bowman with 8 catches and 3 touchdowns for the Wildcats. The first Northwestern receiver to catch 3 touchdowns in a game since Austin Carr in 2016. You remember Austin Carr? I always thought it was strange because he had the same name as a former Cleveland Cavalier when I was growing up, Austin Carr, wide receiver for Northwestern. Okay, on the flip side of the ball, the duel of this game, even though this was not a shootout, but maybe the 2 best athletes on the field, Greg Newsome, the junior at Northwestern, playing cornerback and covering most of the night, David Bell. David Bell is amazing. Everybody out there watching me right now that loves college football, you know about Rondale Moore. Now, he was on the sideline. He missed this game. Again, it was announced this week that he would not be able to play. Why? We don't know. He opted out. He opted back in. And he hasn't played this season, and we have absolutely no idea why. But watch David Bell play. He's exceptional. But on this night, he was contained. It was quite the duel between Newsome and Bell. 9 catches, 78 yards for David Bell, one of the best in the country. All right, it was the Northwestern defensive effort that led to this victory, and they did it the Northwestern way. The defensive front tied up the tacklers, tied up the blockers, I should say, and it was that linebacking core. Blake Gallagher, Patty Fisher. Those guys have been around forever. They've got to be among the Big Ten all-time leading tacklers because they've played so much football, and they are in the top 5 in the Big Ten in tackling again this year. But it was also Chris Bergen, the other senior linebacker, who led the team in tackles in this game with 9, and a huge game out of Iko Leota, who had 2.5 sacks and a forced fumble for the Wildcats, who hung on for the victory, 27-20. The red zone defense was remarkable. Again, Northwestern doesn't wow you in any possible way. They are just so gritty and gutty and proficient and efficient, and it looks like it's going to be one of those Northwestern years. But before we get to the matchup next week against Wisconsin, couple players you got to look out for if you continue to track Purdue football and the Boilers lose their first game. They're still in the hunt at 2-1. This was a costly loss, but the Boilers still at 2-1, and they won't play Wisconsin. That game was canceled. It won't be made up. Xander Horvath. He's the running back that typically picks up all his yardage on the ground, but he's a proficient pass receiver. And the key to this win for the Wildcats defensively was that they held Purdue and Horvath to 2 yards rushing. He had 21 yards rushing. Count the sacks, which is a stupid college stat. But anyway, 2 yards rushing for the Boilers. But Horvath came out of the backfield for 9 catches for 100 yards, and some of them were just fun to watch. He's like a Larry Zonka type. Look him up. Larry Zonka, Syracuse, Miami Dolphins, perfect season, Hall of Fame. Look him up, youngsters. All right, number 55, Derek Barnes, the senior out of Covington, Kentucky. He is a blast to watch as well. He's a monster at linebacker. He's a tremendous underrated player. So catch some Derek Barnes, and also Lorenzo Neal up front. Batted down a bunch of passes, was disruptive in the backfield, getting the job done for Purdue. Purdue's a good team. We'll see what my top 25 that actually makes sense says about Purdue after losing the first game. And how about Northwestern? And what about this matchup? Wisconsin is steamrolling Michigan right now, should get to 2-0. Northwestern at 4-0. They meet in Evanston next Saturday. You know I'll be watching that one right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please like, comment, share the videos on social media. The reason I bring that up all the time is there are people out there that have no idea that we're having a great time talking college football, and that you have a voice, I've got a voice, everybody's got a voice that comes in here at the voice of college football. And so bring in those people that you know, family, friends, people on social media. Let them know we're here talking college football every day right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.